Gents, how are you?
Good
Markets all very nervy today.
Aren't they?
Banking dominoes falling. Third bank today, Signature Bank in the US, has been closed.
Yep.
Do you get nervous, Mathan?
I love this. I love it. We actually had banks as the biggest sales sector for a number of months.
For quite a while you've been saying that.
And I'm not disagreeing what the market's seeing. I just
you
find
didn't
it fun.
pick this though.
No, but the thing is, the exposure should be logical. The bank has, by definition, shrunk to deal with a certain part of the market, and that market has been a bear market for over a year.
Yeah.
So is anyone shocked that they're having a tough time?
Yeah.
No. But I think what's more important is what has got them into trouble. I mean, you can see the bonds and the losses from that side, and that's the contagion.
Yeah.
What people are, you've seen Bank of England step in when the pension funds got into trouble with the bond market.
Yeah.
And similarly, you're having these kind of issues. So this is not going away. I think the bank.
So a lot of people would say, back in the GFC, banks got caught in dodgy loans and dodgy mortgages. Here, they're being caught in government bonds, which are meant to be the safest of the safe investment, and no one got fired for investing in government bonds.
Well, times have changed.
Maybe,
Well, when you have nearly 15 years of manipulated bond market, there is side effects to it.
Right.
And it basically destroyed a logical asset allocation.
Yeah.
And so we've got manipulated asset allocation. Banks are forced to have to hold certain assets for liquidity reasons. And when things go a bit pear-shaped, they're left holding the losses, and that's going to play out. And I think don't worry about a specific bank why it's playing, but the thematic of banks getting into those kind of issues, we've already seen it in Europe, UK, we're seeing now in the US, and without a doubt, emerging markets are a source of uncertainty. That's going to flow into, I would assume, European banks because they have a high exposure to emerging markets. And these kind of things will continue to play when you have a slowing cycle.
So there's general weakness in the banking market.
I think that's expected.
Gaurav, do you get concerned?
Look, for me, this is just a prime example of why investing is so damn hard. I mean, who would have thought a week ago we'd be sitting here talking about the collapse of a top 20 American bank?
Yep.
And as you say, I mean, this was my thought process as well, that loan quality has actually been pretty good. The banks are well capitalized in general. The Aussie banks have never been stronger.
Yep.
It just wasn't something I was thinking about at all. And the businesses do get caught up in it. So one of my portfolio holdings, I own a business called Ike GPS. I had a couple of $1 million with SVB.
Yep.
And I did not have as a risk factor that they'll lose a couple of $1 million by holding deposits in a Silicon Valley based bank. That was not in my mind, and it never would be. It just shows that this is a tough game. Stuff happens, and it's unpredictable stuff. It's a reminder that we need to be sensible and cautious all the time, especially when other people are being silly.
Yep.
And over the last few years, there's just been so much crazy behavior, and it's getting discovered now. So this, I don't know what happens from here. I don't know whether this is specific to SVP or this is a more systemic thing. I don't know, but it just shows that you need to be sensible all the time. You cannot get carried away with the crowd. You cannot be euphoric, and you cannot do dumb stuff. Never, because you get punished for it in this game.
Now we should say all the deposits
are being backed.
Are they? I wasn't sure about that.
It just literally happened.
Okay.
Janet Yellen,
sort
of this morning,
came
out and said all depositors will be looked after, which is great.
Yeah.
But every company affected has really had to come out and declare.
it. Yeah.
Let's talk about SiteMinder using Silicon Valley Bank. Ordinate have come out and denied they have anything on deposit. So every tech company is
they have to do it, right?
Yeah, we've got a bit, or no, we're not.
But it's
Just
an interesting. That's it, and that will sit in the investor mind.
Yes.
So there will be a pullback in the multiple that they were paying.
I think you're right.
Because this is not going away.
Yep.
So suddenly this is another risk factor that's going to be there.
Yeah.
And now banks who naturally gravitate to certain parts where they make the most amount of money, they have created that risk.
Yeah.
So now everyone will look at that and say, oh, that might not be a good thing anymore. You want the diversification.